Hi there, my name is Chris Cox, and I'm going to talk about 10 tips for runners today. Um, I'd like to say that I've been running for a lot of my life. I started running when I was in my, probably before I was a teenager, and I ran when I was in Air Force or OTC for training. And then about age 35, I started running 5Ks. I'm 58 now, I still run, and I find it a really good way to try to stay fit, try to control my weight. It's a great stress reliever, and I love to share my love of running with other people. So I'd like to share 10 tips today that might help you if you're thinking about starting to run, or you want to get a little bit better. I hope maybe one of these tips would help you. So the first tip I have to share today is learn to stretch. Stretch every time you run. I tend to stretch after I run. Some people prefer to stretch before. Um, there's a little bit of a controversy about that. People can get passionate about that, but I personally have a stretching routine, and I'm hoping to do a video on that sometime soon, and maybe I can share my routine with you, and you could get some ideas about stretches to add. I have found that's prevented me from pain and injury a lot, and that when I did get pain, it's when I skipped my stretching or I really didn't, I shortened my stretching. But once I learned to stretch, I really had a lot less problems with pain and injury. I would also, my number 2 tip is to buy running shoes. That seems sort of obvious, and maybe you are a runner and you already have running shoes. But for those of you that are just starting out running, you may not have running shoes. So consider getting some running shoes that are designed for longer distance running to make sure that you're not damaging, or shouldn't say damaging, but maybe getting that pain. The more fun you have running, the longer you'll do it. But if you go out and you run in tennis shoes or sneakers that aren't designed for running, there's less padding in those. So get some nice running shoes. I buy mine at Academy or sometimes online from Nike. Nike stores are great places, and also specific running stores if you have one in your town. Go splurge and buy a pair of really nice running shoes to get you started off right. My number 3 tip is to set some goals. So whether you're running 5Ks and maybe you want to set a goal to run a little bit faster, if you haven't ever run a 5K race, that might be a good goal to get in condition for that. If you've never run before, you might set a goal to run a mile without stopping and that kind of thing. So have some goals. My number 4 tip is try running with music. Not everybody, and in fact, I think I'm in the minority in that I enjoy running with earbuds and my phone, and I love to have music play. I've read about this, and what that can do is it can distract you from maybe some of the pain or discomfort that you can feel when you're running. So try that out, and you may really like it because music has been shown to reduce stress, and so you're doing 2 things that reduce stress at the same time. So I would try that out, and of course, it goes without saying, probably don't run with music if you're running in a road or something like that. Just be safe. That's another reason to run. And here's my tip number 5 is run in a safe, enjoyable place. If you have the ability to go to a park and run on a path that's designed for runners, do that. Make it a fun part of your day. And I would not hesitate to spend maybe 10-15 minutes driving to that place if it's in your town. Running on roads or on the roadside, of course, has not only safety issues, but it can take away some of the enjoyment of the run, because you might be worried about the cars or the other vehicles near you, as you should. So take the time to run in a park or on a trail. I have found that that's made me enjoy running that much more. Number 6, try not to run on a treadmill. A lot of people avoid treadmills. Treadmills to me are a necessary evil. If I really need to get a run in, I will run on a treadmill. But most runners that I know that really love running kind of hate treadmills. But if it's too cold, if it's too snowy, if it's too hot, sometimes a treadmill is a good way to keep your training going and not get overheated or not get too cold. So use them sparingly, and certainly I would not recommend you be a treadmill runner as a normal course of affairs. My number 7 tip is learn about running. You're already watching a video on running. Get a book, get an audio book, get an ebook on running, or a running magazine, and read a little bit about running. Read what better runners than you do. And I've done that over the years, and I've picked up little workout routines or exercise routines that have really helped me on my running and get better every year. And my number 8 tip is, when you're ready, sign up for a local 5K run. 5K is about 3.1 miles. If you don't know how long kilometers are, 3.1 miles. Most people can complete that in 30 to 40 minutes, even without a lot of training. Just running slowly, you'll complete it in about 35, 40 minutes. As you get better, you might be able to run it in 25 minutes. So keep in mind, it's not a really long race. It's going to be over in about 30 minutes. So sign up for one. They're usually pretty low entry fee, and they're a lot of fun, and you get to be around other runners. And now my number 9 tip is replace your shoes about every 250 miles. That's what I do. And I even have a smartwatch, a Garmin. I have a Garmin 245, I think it is, Forerunner, that I can put in to the Garmin when I have a new pair of shoes. Actually, I put it on my phone or on the website to remind me to replace my shoes once I've run 250 miles on those shoes. So that's a really nice feature. Or you can just replace them every 6 months. A lot of people, however long you run, if you're running a little bit every week, you might want to just say, okay, every 6 months, put a reminder on your calendar to replace those shoes. The reason why you want to do that is not to buy more shoes or have an extensive shoe collection. It's so that, of course, the cushioning in the shoe will wear down, and you won't notice it really. Like the tread won't disappear like maybe on a car. They'll just get less springy, and you may even find yourself, if you run long enough, detecting that you need new shoes, because you start getting those aches and pains in your legs or in your knees. And I've had that happen before, when I'm like, oh, I forgot I need to replace my shoes. So before you get to that point, and then you need to order some shoes and wait a week to get them, if you're ordering them online, go ahead and maybe put it on your calendar. 6 months from today, buy a new pair of running shoes, or use an app or a watch to remind you that your shoes need to be replaced. About 250 to 400 miles would be good, or maybe once or twice a year, depending on how much you run. Some elite runners that probably wouldn't be watching my video probably replace their shoes every 3 months or something, because they run that much on them. So just keep that in mind. The more you run, the more shoes you're probably gonna want to invest in. And my number 10 and final tip for this 10 tips for runners video is find places that other runners run using a website or an app called Strava, Strava, if you've never heard of it, or Garmin has some products. Garmin is a watch manufacturer, and they have an app and a website, and they have some ways for you to find popular places that other people run. The benefit of that is that if you're around other runners, obviously they might know something that we don't. That, hey, this is a really great place to run. There's water, maybe there's a restroom nearby, or good parking, free parking. And maybe it's a really safe place to run, like far away from cars, safe area in terms of low crime or anything like that. And so that can give you some insight. If you don't know any other runners and you're thinking about, I just want to run, think about those apps. They can give you heat maps of places in where you live that other runners are already running, and they'll show you exactly where to go to find the best, most fun running places. So again, my name is Chris. I'm so glad you came to my channel. Thank you for listening, and be sure to like and subscribe, as they say, and thank you again for your time. Have fun running. Bye.